Alright, CVL number 5. I'm going to be answering Alex's question on what our favorite genres are and how genres can change based on what we're doing. So I have 3 main genres that I tend to listen to, them being 80s rock, Christian rock, and movie scores. And then I just have a couple random bands that I listen to. My favorite one being Bon Jovi, which counts as 80s rock, but I like a lot of their more recent stuff. Like their last album came out in 2015, so they're pretty recent, but they're not like as big as they were in the 80s. But I also like the Jonas Brothers and One Direction, and I don't like a lot of like boy bands, but I like One Direction, and if you consider Jonas Brothers a boy band, which some people do. I usually listen to Bon Jovi pretty much either all the time or just at random times, just because they're my favorite band, and whenever I feel like listening to music, usually I just put on some sort of Bon Jovi. Usually I just go to my MP3 player and just hit select all and shuffle and see whatever comes up. I usually switch between Bon Jovi, Jonas Brothers, and One Direction when I'm on like long road trips or car trips, and if nobody else complains who's in the car with me. When it comes to like genres, the 80s genre I've always liked just because my parents played it a lot when I was growing up. I don't listen to it a lot, but I enjoy it when it's on. I usually hear it a lot at work or when I go to the pool to swim in the morning or lifeguard. Christian rock I usually listen to on the radio in the car. It's really cool, uplifting music that it's really family friendly, and I like listening to it. And I'm always kind of wary of a lot of like modern pop songs because I have an 11-year-old sister, and like when her friends are with me in the car, I don't like a lot of songs with like profanities, or I know they usually cut out swearing and stuff, but there's still stuff in there that I don't think they should be hearing. So putting on Christian rock is really uplifting and family friendly music that it's really nice songs to listen to. They're really awesome, and it helps me grow in my faith as well, which is a huge part of my life. So Christian rock is a huge part of my life and my family as well. So we always listen to bands like, my favorite ones are Newsboys and Toby Mac. But pretty much anything on the radio like Mercy Me and Song Too Surreal and Third Day's Grace, those guys are all really, really good. The last genre I listen to I've mentioned a couple of times, and that's like movie scores. Like scores for movies, not like the soundtracks where modern artists are associated with the movie. It's like the orchestra music that I like listening to, and I usually listen to it when I'm doing homework or I'm writing or reading. And I like having music, but I don't like having words to the music because sometimes I find myself listening to the music or listening to the lyrics rather than doing my homework. And sometimes I've even noticed when I'm writing, I'll start writing down the lyrics instead of what I actually meant to be writing in my homework. So usually I like the movie scores because they're really, really nice, and I can still think kind of about the movie but not be distracted by it. And I usually switch like the movie score depending on what kind of homework I'm doing. For example, if I'm like doing my Chinese homework, I usually like listening to Avatar: The Last Airbender or The Legend of Korra because the music has a lot of Asian influence in it. So it kind of puts a theme around the homework that I'm doing and the mood that I'm in by listening to that. I also, when I'm doing homework, usually Chinese homework, I listen to Chinese music, whether that's like traditional music or some artists, because I don't know the words well enough to be distracted by it. Every once in a while I'll catch a word that I know, but usually that doesn't bother me. Seasons sometimes also affect what I'm listening to movie score wise. Like in the wintertime I listen to the Chronicles of Narnia a lot more because it reminds me of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when they enter Narnia and it's winter. So wintertime I like listening to that. So the main genres that I listen to are 80s rock, Christian rock, and movie scores, as well as some random bands thrown in there. So that's pretty much what I listen to, and I listen to it all the time or in the car or doing homework. So I can't wait to hear what you guys like listening to.